You remember when you were a kid, or even like in your early 20s, and you would see an adult, like an older person, right? and everyone just seemed much older. Like this is a side note, but everyone just seemed much older. Like, you remember when you're 13, someone in their 30s was like old, like super old, and then you reach that age and you're like, oh, I'm sorry to everyone who I ever thought was old when I was... Anyways, but you'd be a kid, right? Young kid, teenager, early to mid, maybe late 20s. And you would see these people who, you know, would eat a plate of nachos or have fast food or eat a pizza or something super spicy. And they would all bitch and moan preemptively. And they would say like, oh, I'm going to pay for this, or this is going to like suck coming out the other side or whatever. And as a kid, you were like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, what is wrong with everybody's insides? Because I can eat whatever I eat, like Doritos and a 2-liter of Mountain Dew, and I'm like ready to go. Like, I'm ready to start running laps. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Can you relate to this? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
You don't know? What do you mean you don't know?
What?
Because you know that thing, right? You know the thing where people are like, oh, this is going to shoot out at me on the other side because it's like a spicy, greasy, you know, whatever it is. And then as a kid, you were like, I don't have that problem. I don't understand what's wrong. Like,
I still don't understand that. Like,
you still don't understand it?
I've never eaten something and then like an hour later I'm pooping.
Oh, no, and no, listen, nor have I, right? Nor have I. Like, okay, when I started drinking coffee, it was a rough go for a day or two because your body's not used to the coffee and the, you know, like that was a little scary. No, and nor do I, right? Like, I'm not saying if I eat a plate of wings, I got 30 minutes before this bomb goes off. I'm at the age now where, like, last night we had tacos, right? Just homemade, like, greasy, delicious, spicy. Yep. I put all the sauce and stuff on it, jalapenos, nachos. And today, things just aren't as firm as I'd like them to be, if that.
You got the soft poops?
And you know, and like the tummy aches and the, you know, and you're kind of like, okay. All right. You know, like, you know, and not to start the whole podcast talking about excrement, but but you know how, like,
well, I mean, we talk a lot about excrement, about the Marvel
Star Wars and
Star Wars and
you know how when everything's running smoothly and that's not okay, hang on. You know when everything's working properly?
Okay. Yeah. You're regular. Yeah.
Or just like, you know, you're in good bowel health. Sure. And you know, you have to go, but it's, you know, it's an inopportune moment, and so you can hold off for like 10-15 minutes, right? And then you can go, right? Like you can kind of delay it and you can put it off. I'm just having one of those days where I don't have any control. I'm just like, oh, okay.
So you're saying at any moment you could get up and leave.
I could dip. I could dip
alone on the mic, whistling Dixie.
Yeah. Anyways, hello and welcome to the Movie Men podcast.
We are the B team, and the B stands for bowels.
Bowel movement. We're the BM team. That's Carl.
And Brady, who's having bowel problems, is over there.
Listen,
somewhere.
No, it's not. I wouldn't say bowel problems.
You should go see your doctor by the sound of it.
I would just say, no, it's not. It was just a super spicy, greasy meal, and it's cleaning me out, okay? I don't forget. I regret bringing it up, okay?
Sounds good.
Moving on. I regret bringing it up. We're back with another news episode. I'm excited for today. There's some things. There are some things to talk about. There are some things to discuss, and I'm super excited for that. Any day, how pathetic is this? It doesn't matter what's going on. Any chance I get to sit down with you and Pete and talk movies, movie news, stuff like that, it's always a good, like it just makes me forget everything else. It's like 90 minutes of like nothing else is going on and everything's great. How sad is that you're like my life raft?
Well, you do live down in the GTA, so
yeah. That clock's ticking, though. That clock is ticking.
Yeah, soon you're about to come back up to paradise.
Yeah,
I don't know. That might be a stretch for Grey Bruce,
where you can stand in the middle of the Walmart, extend your arms, and touch both ends of the store. Yeah, Yeah. But before we jump into our movie news for the day, as is tradition around here, Carl has selected 3 topics.
I did.
In the category of technological or just sort of like human advancement or interesting tidbits of things that are going on around the world. He's going to present those 3 choices to me. I'm going to choose one of them, which is sometimes a lot more painful than it seems like it may be going into it. And then he'll tell us a little bit more about it. So, Carl, what are the 3 options today?
All right. So I think these 3 are pretty cool. One of them I really hope you pick.
Okay.
But they are ding, dinner's done, dummy. Okay.
I'd like to point out that when this segment first started, like when you first started doing this, the titles that you gave me actually sort of alluded to what the hell you were talking about. And the further we go,
I've gotten more creative.
Yeah, but then I'm sitting here going like, well, I don't know. It sounds like a Jeopardy category. It doesn't sound like a.
All right. Okay. The second one is popping the space bubble.
Okay.
And the last one, and I'm going to show my hand, and I hope to pick this one. It's the Bond villain starter pack.
Ooh. I'm going to go with the Bond villain starter pack.
Yeah,
Not for 300. Not because it's the one you want me to pick, but because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, as long as we've been doing this segment, I don't think we've had one that is actually also kind of film related.
Yeah.
And this sort of is film adjacent.
The title I gave is film related, but the topic is not. But it's really, really cool.
Thanks, Pat.
But
all right.
In true fashion, we'll kind of touch on the other 2. So, ding, dinner's done, dummy. I've talked a little while ago about the Consumer Electronics Show that happened. One more thing that came across my feed that kind of missed the other ones, but it came up again, I guess, is there's a startup where was it? In the States somewhere. They're using AI in an air fryer to automatically stop the cooking and tell you when your dinner's done. So you just kind of like put it in. I'm cooking chicken. It can tell all the important information about your chicken, and it just stops cooking when it's cooked.
My parents you
just hit go.
I mean,
I've always got to Google it. Like every time I put chicken in how long do I cook chicken and what temperature? And
do you have an air fryer?
No.
So for Christmas, every year it's sort of this tradition at my mom's house where like we go there for Christmas morning. She still does like there's presents under the tree for me that are from Santa. Right. Like it's just that's the atmosphere of Christmas in my mom's house. And every year there's a gift to the family from Santa.
Okay.
Except this has become less and less effective
as the family split up
over the years as we're all living 2 hours apart from each other. So it's like, well, and this is going to stay here. So it's not.
This is mom's Christmas present?
I don't know. So this year they got an air fryer. We got an air fryer. And I went over
the royal we.
I went over a couple weeks ago and I put frozen pre-sauced chicken wings, which are notoriously and famously the worst chicken wings.
Okay.
And Carl and I are an expert on different types of chicken wings because we once made a video about it. You remember that?
I don't.
The
vaguely.
First video you and I ever made together, ever.
We ate a bunch of chicken
no,
wings?
that's not
were
true.
Were they sauces or were they different brands?
No, it was a skit. It was a skit on the difference between that wings that you would get at a pizza place were not, pizza wings.
Yes,
they're not chicken wings. They're pizza
and I
wings.
Freaked out or something.
Yeah, you're like screaming, and that's what you were. That's the reason I had you in the videos back then because you could just scream. Yeah, but we also did one with Dr. Carl, Crazy Dr. Carl, where you like pierced my nose or something, and you had these like Coke bottle glasses on.
Yeah.
Anyways,
moving on.
They were not the best wings I've ever had, but they were definitely the best frozen pre-sauced wings that I ever had. Right? Like I put them in for like 11 minutes and these things came out and I had to let them cool down. They were so damn hot and they were crispy. So they were still, the consistency of frozen wings, but whatever. Go ahead.
All right. So it's popping the space bubble, whatever I called it. This aerospace company called Sierra Space in the United States has been rigorously testing this cool space technology of a space station balloon. It's essentially a balloon that they're trying to make as a habitat for people to live in orbit around as a potential replacement option for the International Space Station. So they blew it up beyond acceptable levels to the point where it would explode, just kind of stress test it.
Figure out where the limit is. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's really like looking at the bubble and then even the explosion in the video that's posted. It's just pretty cool. I just think it's also really cool. It's like that is an option for the current space station replacement, like an inflated bubble in space instead of like hard capsule. I think that's really cool.
It's the kid in the plastic bubble.
Anyway, you want to know how to be a Bond villain, so I'm sending you a link. You need one of these, sir.
Ooh, hang on.
It is the first blending of super yacht, a luxury super yacht, and a stealth submarine. Designed by Magaloo M5.
Whoa.
This thing is so cool. And costing over $3 billion US. You can have this super luxury yacht submarine. It's got, it's got like swimming pools, a glass, like a dining room with a glass window so you can see out while you're submerged. It's got, I gotta find the part of this article where it says it's got swimming pools. It's got a helicopter pad. It's got not one, but two potential. You can, for extra money, I think it costs, two individual, like personal submersible submarines.
It has 2 swimming pools.
It comes standard with one, but you can pay more for extra.
It's like adding heated seats to your car.
Yeah.
But a second. And is this thing just it's a yacht, but it's very
a yacht. It's a submarine.
It is. Okay.
But it blends that idea of what a super luxury yacht is and puts it in a submarine.
So this is this is very interesting to me because yachts are like a luxury consumer item, right?
By the way, sorry, I'm going to cut you off real quick. You got to click the link to their actual website because it shows like more of what the inside and stuff looks like, and it's gorgeous.
Right, click on the link to the actual
while you talk.
This is weird because a yacht is clearly just a consumer product, right? Consumers buy yachts and they parade around the Caribbean and whatever else in their yachts. the Migaloo private submarine yacht is also clearly a consumer item. Yep. This is for the rich and lavish and whatever. But you don't often hear about consumer, on this scale, consumer large submersibles. Like a submarine.
This is the first of its kind.
Yeah. And it's like, how does the military feel about this?
Like, yeah, you could easily enter, like, potentially, I don't know how, like, if you're a boat, people can see you coming and be like, hey, identify yourself. You're entering U.S. waters, right? You need to check in for a passport. I don't know how that works on water, but I know you still have to do that. If you're traveling from out of country to a foreign country, you have to like check in with that country. You could, I don't know if you might be able to like sneak into the country. A country.
It has a range of 15,000 kilometers.
But yeah, here I found the kind of read rundown. So this thing is 541 feet in length. It's capable of holding 20 passengers and 40 crew members, and can dive to the depths of 250 meters. On board, there's tons of stuff to keep you entertained. Jet skis, kite surfing, paddle boards, even exploring in one of 2 mini submarines or catching a helicopter ride. Not only that, the vessel has 2 pools, a jacuzzi, a cafe. The vessel offers 36-seat dining room with glass walls, providing views of the sea as you're diving in the water. Not only that, you can amp up the experience, which, okay, the thing costs $3 billion. If you're putting down $3 billion for this, why aren't you might as well just add these extra, at $3 billion. Throw in another couple of $500,000 for everything. Bring it up to 4. I'm paying 3. I might as well pay 4.
Well, anyway, that's 3 billion Australian dollars.
Yeah. The extras are more swimming pools, a wine cellar, a cinema, and these are all at an extra cost. And there's probably more bells and whistles you can add on to this thing. So, oh my goodness.
Good news,
crazy.
Though. Good news. I just did the conversion, and with the current exchange rate, that's only 2.6 Canadian.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's like a $400 million discount.
Yeah. Man, that's a steal. All right.
I think this is what our Patreon money is working towards now.
I was just going to say, if you want to be on the Movie Man cruise of a lifetime, start paying into that Patreon.
Yeah.
New Patreon level, $3 billion. Join us on a cruise.
Well, no, it wouldn't have to be that high. We could probably do like...
No, it's got to be that high because we got to get all the extras.
50 million a month.
50 million.
Right? And then you just get several people to sign up for it.
I don't know. I would be okay with a one-time payment of $3 billion.
You're going to make a one-time payment of $3 billion? You're
I'm
okay
not.
With that?
If somebody else did.
Oh.
But yeah, this thing is...
I think at the very least, we would probably take that person on the maiden voyage.
Oh, they could borrow it once a year for that.
Well, I don't make promises. We'll see. We got to talk to lawyers and we'll figure that out. But
I feel like it'd be more like a timeshare at that point if they're fitting the bill for the whole thing.
Yeah, this thing is nuts. This thing.
Oh my goodness. I'm on their actual website. There's a picture, like an artist rendition picture of like Land Rovers being pulled, hoisted out by a crane on a door and dropped down to an ice platform, like an ice sheet to travel around.
Listen, I will post the link to this website in the show notes because people need to see.
This thing is
people need to see this thing. This thing's nuts. Okay, jumping into our actual news topics, movie news topics for today. Carl, if you haven't already realized this, is a zombie guy, right? He's a man of very simple zombies and monsters and explosions and things that go
monster
boom.
films, action films.
And one of the iconic zombie movies. There's been a handful of iconic zombie movies. There's been a onslaught of who gives a shit zombie movies. But one of these super iconic zombie movies in the last couple decades was 28 Days Later.
So good.
So good. It's such a good movie. And a great... I think what makes 28 Days Later so good is that it paves its own path, right? Like, it doesn't just take the simple, like, I don't know, they're zombies and they want to eat brains. And if you get bitten by a zombie, now you're a zombie. And done. Go. Right? Like, there's enough story and there's enough, like, they've created, there's a 28 Days Later lore. Right? Like, 28 Days Later lore is not just generic zombie lore. It's 28 Days Later lore.
Yeah. And they do, like, in that respect, they do two things extremely well for a zombie movie. The first thing is explaining how zombies exist. They almost completely... Oh, man, it's been a while since I've watched this, so I might be wrong. But at least for the first half of the movie, they don't even explain... where the zombies came. They just exist because everything's through the eye of our main character, who's been in a coma. He wakes up and everybody's gone. And we don't even realize there's zombies till much later in the film.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like crap, what happened? And we're as lost as he is, which is part of the fun of this film. And so they don't have to explain. It's left up to the audience to kind of imagine the possibilities.
Right.
Which is great. Which is great cinematic storytelling. The other thing it does really well is, for any monster film, usually the best part about the monster film is not the monster and how people interact with the monster interacts with them. It's usually how people interact with each other. Humanity acts in light of a monster.
Oh, for sure.
Especially with a zombie flick. That's why Walking Dead was so grew in such huge popularity. The story was never about zombies. It was about the community and how they interact with each other and other humans that are for or against them. Yeah. Just that human conflict. Yeah.
You know, just like the story of The Last of Us, right? The Last of Us at its heart is not a game about zombies or a show about zombies. It's about human relation and
light of crazy conflict. Yeah.
And so fans of 28 Days Later can rejoice because director of the original, Danny Boyle, and writer of the original, Alex Garland, have got a sequel in the works. And maybe not just a sequel, maybe a trilogy of sequels, maybe 3 films coming. But a sequel for sure, titled 28 Years Later. Is a new zombie movie coming. For sure, Boyle is attached to direct the first of the sequels, and Garland has agreed to write all 3 of them. The budget for each one of these movies is going to be in the $75 million range, which is a sizable budget for something like this. It's all you need. You're not doing major CGI effects and stuff like that. So $75 million is completely respectable budget. I'm stoked on this. Like, I don't know so much about the idea of, I'm kind of like, okay, give us one more one and then let us see. Right? Like, to tell us, hey, there's maybe 3 more coming. That's people getting a little eager, I think. That's a little
putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, but it also, the other thing that it does do, though, is that it solidifies the fact that they have a plan, right? That there's a story in place, that they
have something
they
they
know,
want to tell.
yeah, they know where they would take this. They know what sort of arc, presumably, they know what sort of arc they would want to have, and like, yeah, they know where they want to go with it. So either way, I think this is brilliant. I don't know what you do title-wise after 28 years later.
Yeah. As a part 1, part 2, 28 days later seems like a days, and then go to years. That seems like a great part 1, part 2. But yeah, what do you do for a part 3?
Yeah. Right. But I'm excited about this. Carl, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I liked, 28 days later was great. So I'm normally kind of like for making a sequel this late in the game seems like I don't know, but you've got the same writer, same director, maybe Cillian Murphy's on board to reprise his role.
Maybe
that would be interesting, especially for following that same character 20. Like how long ago? Has it been 28 years?
No, it's just over 20 years. But close.
Man, that would have been poetic. Oh man,
yeah, but close.
Because then, not only is every then you're bringing back your main actor, and he's 28 years older.
Right, but it's within the time range that you could fudge that.
I guess, yeah.
Oh,
it just doesn't have that same kind of, that's like that.
Yeah,
je ne sais quoi.
No, I agree. Right,
something
like when
extra.
Ghostbusters or whatever. Or, no, what was it that just was it Top Gun that was 30 years later? Or you see a lot of those right on the 30th anniversary of whatever.
Yeah,
then the new one's coming.
Yeah. But because it's like their title is 28 years, to have it actually be 28 years, that would have been
cool.
Yeah,
but you're excited.
But it looks like, look, there's nothing to look at, but
sounds
it sounds good.
Yeah,
like it doesn't. I don't recoil at the thought of this as a sequel, having a sequel,
right? Well, because it's a zombie movie, right? Like it's
and because so far the right people are attached to the film.
Yeah.
Right. So
but it's also
two
like
people that weren't attached to the original, to who knows, who cares, writer and director who just happened to get the rights to make it. You'd be like, why?
See, and horror films are sort of. It's hard to recoil at the idea of a horror film sequel just because horror is the genre of ignorable sequels. Right? No, it is, right? Like you take every franchise that has had a great first film and then a vomiting of sequels. Some with some merit, but some that are just horrendous, right? Leprechaun, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Paranormal Activity, right? Like,
well, then there are so
like,
many zombie movies you can't.
Yeah, and there's so many, right? So it's like, to me, it's kind of like, you know what? The first one is amazing. The first one's not going anywhere. If the new film comes out and it's garbage, the first one's still amazing. I don't care, right? Make a sequel. Make a sequel. I've said this many times. Make a sequel. Reboot. Remake. Anything. Nothing is off limits. Remake Back to the Future. Go ahead. I don't care because I still have on my shelf my Blu-ray copy of the trilogy, and nothing and no one can take that away. And so if they remake Back to the Future and it's garbage, I don't care. I still have my originals. If they remake Back to the Future and it's the greatest thing ever to come out of Hollywood, then great. I have another film that I can celebrate and enjoy and what, you know, so I'm just in the right. I'm in the realm of remake anything. Nothing's untouchable. Moving on to another movie that is the next installment in a franchise. This one, I think, is going to be surprising to a lot of people because a lot of people seem to understandably think that the last one was the last one.
A lot of people thought it was over a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, in some ways it has been.
Nothing's truly over in Hollywood.
Jurassic Park. Or Jurassic. Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, the Jurassic franchise is getting another installment. Jurassic World 4, Jurassic Park 7. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But it's coming. There is a new film coming. And it's super unclear at this point whether any of the original cast is going to return, whether any of the Jurassic World cast will return, or if this is going to be its own, it's a whole new sort of adventure, a whole new story with new people, new antagonists, new antagonists. That would be the dinosaurs. New protagonists.
Maybe the dinosaurs are the hero in this one. You don't know.
But yeah, whether it's, whether or not this is like a direct continuation, or if it's, hey, it's been 5 years and people have gotten used to the idea that raptors are also shopping at the 7-Eleven.
It's kind of like Flintstones now.
Yeah, I don't, right? Like, I don't know. Yeah, your trash compactor under your sink is but it did seem like the last one was the conclusion, and a very, very, very disappointing conclusion. Like, it was bad, right? It was bad. Pete and I ripped into that film hard.
I remember hearing that one. Yeah,
hard.
I never watched it. I didn't watch it. I listened to the episode, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't even seen the second Jurassic World, so I don't care.
See, well, but apparently other people do, because here's the thing, right? The question becomes, why make another one? Right? You've already made 6. They haven't truly been great since the second one. Right? Undisputably, the first one is the best one. I kind of like the second one more, and I know that I'm in the minority with that. I know there's a lot of people who don't like Jurassic Park: The Lost World, but I do. I think it's fantastic. I think it's
Is that the one where the T-Rex comes to the States?
Ends up in San Diego at the end, and yeah, but it's not done in an over the top ridiculous kind of way, right? And you've got Jeff Goldblum as your center star in that one, and so that's like always a good thing. And Julianne Moore, and Vince Vaughn, like a young Vince Vaughn's in that one. The question becomes, why do another one? Right? The last one sucked. The last one was critically panned. Well, this is why you do another one. Because the last one made well over $1 billion.
Yeah.
And so if you're a studio, people, and so that goes to show that there is still hunger out there. Pardon the pun. There's still hunger out there for the giant monster dinosaur prehistoric life will find a way films. And so I think this makes total sense, right? Am I excited for it? I mean, I think anyone nowadays has to go into a Jurassic Park movie with tampered expectations, right? Like, hey, it might suck. But we're going along for the ride. It's the culture of Jurassic Park. We're all wearing the t-shirts. We're excited. We're, or whatever it is.
I'm reading the article you linked. The article from Screen Rant here. And there's a section near the bottom, and I don't know if this is the person who wrote this article's not knowing how the English language works. It probably more wherever he got the source from, whoever he was talking to, got the information from, doesn't understand how the English language works. But this sentence, however, with the revelation that Jurassic World 4 will completely reboot the franchise, there's no telling what the movie will tackle. Reboot means start over. Jurassic World 4 alludes to a continuation of the story. Which is it? Is it a reboot? Are we starting over? Or is it Jurassic World 4?
I don't know. I think that's speculative. I haven't seen anything official that says that this is a reboot. I haven't seen anything from the studio that clearly says, "Hey, we're blank slating this thing."
Well, like, is it like the studios announced Jurassic World 4? Or is it announced that a new Jurassic movie's being made? I guess is the question. What is the actual press release?
That another Jurassic film is coming.
Right. So they haven't said World 4 or Jurassic 7 or whatever we're on numerically if you combine them. So, yeah. So this writer doesn't know what he's talking about in terms of that particular sentence, really.
I don't think so.
Or at least he wrote it completely wrong.
He's pulling things out of his ass entirely. Yeah. But I think this makes sense. I think there's still a hunger out there for Jurassic World, or for Jurassic Park, for the big dinosaur movies. I mean, I'll certainly go see it, right? Even though I was burned by the last one, it's still Jurassic. I'm still going to go see it. I'm going to get excited about it. And I think it makes good business sense, right? When your last film made over $1 billion, you make another one. This is what you do. You just make another one.
Yeah, definitely.
You haven't seen the last two, but what are your thoughts on continuing the Jurassic?
Yeah, I mean,
machine?
It's good. Like you say, it's good business sense. I don't think I care enough to go see it in theaters.
Well, no,
and I don't have Paramount Plus, so I can't watch the other ones. And
but when I'm back in town, I'll be like, "Hey, Carl, I have a movie
we have to watch.
Stop at the beer store and then come on over, and we'll, It's gonna be fun.
Stop at the beer store. We got to restock the podcast mini bar.
Ooh, we should get a Movie Man bar fridge. Put it in the studio.
Oh, that wasn't already in the plans.
We should do that, and then the other thing we have to stock it with is Death Wish canned water, because it's what you see every podcast. That's what they drink. This is just Death Wish canned water. Canned water. Oh, and I've had it, and it's amazing. It's absolutely delicious. Yeah, no, but this is like, but there's good water and bad water, right? There's there's like Dasani, and then there's,
I'll just drink whatever comes out of my tap.
Yeah. Well, that explains a lot. Moving on. The first trailer has dropped for Despicable Me 4. And kind of piggybacking off of what I just said about, I think there's still hunger for Jurassic and dinosaurs and stuff like that. I watched this trailer and it looks like a Despicable Me movie. And there's the fun angle of now Gru has a son and the wife, and so the family dynamic is there, and all this, and there's a villain, and it's Steve Carell, and so it looked fine, but I couldn't help but wonder, who wants this?
I want this.
Do you?
After watching this trailer, absolutely. Yeah.
But is there still I
wouldn't have said I wanted it prior to watching this film or this trailer.
Right.
But I've seen the only Despicable Me I haven't seen is the one where Gru's a kid.
Minions
newest
Rise
one?
of Gru or something.
Yeah, I've seen the Minions ones. They're all right. I haven't seen Rise of Gru, so I don't know.
See,
But,
the
like,
Minions make
I've-
a great supporting character.
Yeah, they I don't think they hold they can't hold their own as a lead.
No.
But they're like next to Gru, who's as an adult. The three that are out now are hilarious. They're amazing. I love them. And I would have said, I don't need, like, what are you going to do? How do you up your game? Like, one is Gru falling in love with girls. Awesome. And adopts them at the end. Two, Gru falling in love with with his future wife. Awesome. Good. Three, Gru's got a brother and finds out about his lost brother and dad.
Yeah, see, I never watched the third one.
And that one was probably the weaker of the three. But this feels like the natural next step that 3 should have been.
Right.
Right? Like the growth of the family. Like 3 kind of does that with his brother. Oh, the family is bigger than his family's bigger than he realized.
Right.
But this just feels perfect. Like the perfect next step in terms of like 1, 2, then this.
Right.
Right? Like falls in love with girl. Or sorry, 1 falls in love and adopts 3 little girls. Falls in love with girl, marries her, has a kid. That's the next logical step. And I laughed a lot during this trailer.
It looks funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So maybe a good trailer is enough to,
It swung
enough
me.
to sway people. Yeah.
It totally swung me.
Like I said, I think it
Yeah.
looks good. It's definitely not a theater watch for me. Like I just don't care enough.
Yeah.
And I
it might
am
be
still-
something I take my daughter to go see because she really likes
and see, that makes
stuff.
great sense, right? And that's ultimately that's who this is for.
Yeah. And I'm probably with you there. I probably, outside of that, I don't know if I go to the theater to watch it. I would definitely pick it up and watch it as soon as I could on streaming or rent it if I had to.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it looks funny.
All right.
Yeah. I'm sold on it. Like
you
the honey badger.
convinced me.
Oh man. A honey badger for a villain's
Yeah, see, that's funny.
sidekick. That's genius. The minions
We got
are
another
playing a great supporting role. Anyway, yeah, moving on.
we got another new trailer. And this is for the Jake Gyllenhaal, which I don't know if you've seen the interview, but Gyllenhaal is actually the incorrect pronunciation for this. Do you know that?
He doesn't pronounce his last name Gyllenhaal?
Well, I mean, that's how everyone pronounces it, and so I'm sure he also...
Is it Gyllenhaal?
It's Gyllenhaal. Yeah.
Is it really?
It is. Yeah. It's got... You get to put the like, Nordic, Swedish kind of Gyllenhaal. Yeah. Anyways, Jake Gyllenhaal, in the remake for Roadhouse. Now, I have 2 things to say about this, and then I'm going to pass it on to you. Thing number 1, I have never seen Roadhouse. I've never seen the original Roadhouse.
Ooh, interesting.
Number 2,
I think I've only ever seen bits of it.
okay. Number 2, this looks great. Like,
Yeah.
going into it, not even knowing, like, I've heard of Roadhouse, right? But I didn't know what it was about. I had no clue what it was about. I didn't care. I had no desire. I was just aware of it. But it has never been on a short list of mine, something I got to get around to, whatever. This looks great. This looks like, Jake Gyllenhaal's always fantastic. And it's kind of got like a little bit of a Fight Club feel to it, but it's also got like I don't know. He's just got this like, what's the line from the trailer where he's about to get in a fight and he like gives everyone a chance to like
Right at the beginning.
step away and not do this, or like,
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, ha, 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 ha. And then he just like,
he's asking them like, do you have insurance? Do you have dental?
Yeah. And like, not like, we're not talking like Jackie Chan martial arts style.
No, this is
super elaborate fighting.
It's straight up MMA, because they even show that in the trailer he's an MMA fighter.
He's MMA, but even his fighting style is more, at least in that initial first fight, is less. He has a defensive stance, right? Like he's almost using their momentum against them, and is not. You know, he's more about like getting out of the way of punches and misdirecting, making you think I'm going to hit you here and then hitting you here, instead of like brute force overpowering people. It's fun, creative choreography. And I think that's what kind of draws me to this. On top of that is Jake Gyllenhaal. Carl, you saw the trailer. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. The only thing that makes me go, oh, I guess I'll have to watch it to see how that works. And I'll preface this by saying that movies have kind of used similar people in the past to fill these kind of roles. But I think in the past it's worked differently and well for very different reasons that I think this one is choosing to go. And that is the choice of making one of the kind of antagonists of this film, Conor McGregor, who's not an actor. He's a straight up MMA fighter. He's never done acting. He's done promotional work, which is just like talking smack on a mic to your opponent. But like, he's not acting when he's doing MMA. Like, that's just who he is. This is his persona. So the question is, can Conor McGregor act? This trailer, I don't know if I'm completely sold. I think I'd need to see more. And what I was alluding to earlier is that movies have done it in the past is with wrestling. Wrestlers have frequently been used in action films and stuff to portray big, scary antagonists. But wrestlers act almost 24/7 whenever they're in public because of kayfabe, which is just a term for always being in character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know a lot about wrestling, and that's going to come up very shortly here. But yeah, no, I get that that's the atmosphere for them. That
works, and it makes sense because you're pulling somebody from a kind of fighting world, wrestling, to play a big, mean-looking dude, but that big, mean-looking dude kind of gets the idea of how to act because they're doing it constantly.
Right.
A great example would be, oh shoot, I forget his name. The Punisher film, with, oh man, that one.
Thomas Jane?
Thomas Jane, yeah. The Thomas Jane Punisher film had a wrestler come in to act
Russian
named Kevin Nash. He's a huge dude. He's like 7.5 feet tall, built like a freaking brick outhouse, right? Like, and he portrayed that role very well because he knows how to get into a character.
Yeah.
So the question I'm posing is, does Conor McGregor know how to get into a character and act? And surely that he's had some acting coaching for this role, hopefully. But I mean, it just throws a question up in the air as like, will he fit the role well? Will he be able to like be convincing in this character?
I mean,
and if not, is it going to hurt the film?
So, I mean, a better example.
Looks freaking awesome.
A better example.
The way he slaps those guys around at the beginning of this trailer. Awesome. Yeah,
like the Russian, which is the character that Nash played in the Thomas Jane Punisher. Not a lot of nuance in that character. Like that was an animated style character.
He knows how to stay in character.
Sure. No,
right? Like but he was literally stabbed by Thomas Jane. Like when Punisher stabs him with a knife.
Oh, Jane, for sure.
Literally, like, it wasn't a prop knife. Well, Jane thought it was a prop knife, but it wasn't. And they used that shot because Kevin Nash knew how to stay in character. And the fear on Thomas Jane's face was legitimate because he just stabbed Kevin Nash with a knife.
Right. No, for sure. But I think the better example would be Dwayne Johnson, Dave Bautista, and John Cena.
Those are extreme examples, I think, because they've made they're making transitions or have made the transition.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on to our third trailer. There's a trailer I sent to you this morning. There's a sort of like a very last minute addition to the show notes, but I saw the trailer and I was like, what the heck is this?
Heavy movie.
Heavy movie. My boy, Ewan McGregor.
Yep.
Did you know I was Ewan McGregor's dad?
No.
No.
How does that work?
I'm Papa Kenobi is what that means essentially. Yeah, I'm Papa Kenobi.
How old are you? Long time ago. How did you space travel?
Moisturize, children. It'll do wonders for your skin. Ewan McGregor's new film, Bleeding Love, that he's starring in with Clara McGregor, his daughter. A story about a father a single dad to a teenage daughter who the father himself, Ewan McGregor's character, used to struggle with drinking, right? Got himself sorted out, realized this is not the life I want for myself. But damage was done. Daughter has picked up dad's old habits. And is not only into drinking, but is also into some other substances, as is alluded to by an overdose reference in the trailer. It's not a comedy. It's not, I mean, I'm sure there's a joke in it somewhere. Usually there is in these films. But this movie, I'm telling you right now, like this is a 2024 Oscar contender, right? Whether it's best actor, best supporting actor, like this looks incredible. This. I'd go see this in the theater, and you don't hear me saying that very often about. Look, I'm bad. I'm a bad movie fan. I'll admit that right now. I'm a bad movie fan because normally, unless it's the continuation of a franchise that I'm already into, a tentpole film, I don't go to the theater as much. I don't give a chance. I'm part of the problem. I'm part of the problem.
Really expensive to do that.
It's expensive to go to the theater, but I'm part of the problem that we talk about when, Carl bitches and moans, there's no, just do something original. Nobody does original things. And I say, well, no, they do original things all the time. Like, if you check your theater listings, there's 12 movies that you haven't heard of or paid much attention to that you could go watch. And those are original stories. I'm part of the problem. I don't go to them either. I go to Star Wars movies, DC movies, Marvel movies, continuations of horror franchises that I'm into, Ghostbusters, Beetlejuice. That's kind of, the next Harry Potter, whatever. I might go see this in the theater. Like, this just is not because I think it's necessarily the type of movie that you need to see in the theater. I don't think you'd get anything extra out of seeing this in the theater. This is just a movie that I feel like I want to throw some support behind, right? Like I want to support this with my wallet. It looks incredible. It looks like an important story. It looks heartwarming, heartbreaking, kind of all at once. And it's Ewan McGregor, man. It's Ewan freaking McGregor. And that to me is just the cherry on this beautiful, beautiful cake. Carl, you saw the trailer. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, sound like a broken record after the last. Well, I guess I have my own thoughts on the last trailer, but yeah, like ditto. The trailer does a great job of presenting the premise of the film, and the premise of the film is all the things you said, and it's heavy.
Yeah,
the trailer makes me want to know what happens for good or ill at the end of this story.
Yeah, and
it's a good trailer. It does what a trailer should.
You and I both, and you know what? There's this extra layer, I think, because in varying degrees and varying current statuses, but you and I both have experience in the realm of fatherhood.
Yeah.
And so there's that layer too, right? Yeah. Where you're watching it and you're going, what would you can't help but put yourself in the shoes a little bit, right? You can't help but connect and go, I can't imagine, but maybe I'll have to, right? And see, that's one of those things, right? Because it's not like people go like, oh, my kid got addicted to whatever, I screwed up as a parent. No, sometimes it has nothing to do with that. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you're a shit parent, and that's why your kids get addicted to stuff. But sometimes it's not. Right? Sometimes it's the influence at school, it's the influences wherever. Like you have to, and please don't punch me for saying this, but you as a parent have to accept the fact that Carl, one of your children, may become addicted to drugs as a teenager, and that's something you guys are going to have to deal with as parents. And that, like, it's just that level of
the society we live in, and
I'm so stoked on this film. I'm so stoked on Bleeding Love. I cannot wait. Oh, it looks good. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. Back to wrestling. Something that I've never watched a wrestling match. And
never?
No. So are you into wrestling? What is your into wrestlingness?
Okay. So when I was a kid and I had cow cable, wrestling on Sunday afternoons.
Okay. I know what it means, but you're gonna have to pack up and explain to people what cow cable means.
Oh, cow cable. Oh man, what? I'm a boomer now. If I have to explain so back in the day, if you didn't have cable or you didn't have satellite, you could pick up 3, maybe 4, TV stations.
You had an antenna
out of the air, the same way you do radio.
Yeah,
you wouldn't even need an antenna. At most you could have some bunny ears to make the image clearer.
And even then, it wasn't a great image.
my parents never
fuzzy.
paid for. Were never interested. Well, I was out in the country, so I couldn't get cable. That was out of the question. Satellite wasn't really an affordable thing.
Satellite
the late
was very
90s, at least.
Even then,
they weren't interested in that, paying for that, because
even then it was expensive.
You could get 4 channels for free. So
yeah.
Well, before the late 90s, if you wanted satellite, you had to have a huge dish, a massive
dish installed.
So I had cow cable, pulled 4 channels out of the air, TVO, CTV, CBC, and
TVO, man. Everyone had TVO.
I think there was a 4th one. I know. Anyway,
you grew up hanging out in the TVO crawl space, eh?
Yeah. Yep.
Patty and Joe, and all right.
Yeah. Well, CTV during the 90s, mid 90s, had a kids channel on Saturday mornings. Had a kids space too, cartoons.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
yeah. So Sunday afternoons, WWE was a thing in my house every once in a while. Not every Sunday, but every once in a while we'd watch wrestling. The classics.
So then here's my question.
Hulk Hogan and
as someone who doesn't know anything about wrestling, or knows very limited, right? Like I've seen the odd like documentary style thing. Like I know about the old like razor blade on the forehead hairline trick and stuff like that. It's just like mind blowing to me that is a thing, or was it? I don't know if they still do it, but that was a thing. For those who don't know, the razor blade trick was the guy would hold it because it's all fake, right? Like it's all scripted and
to a degree, like they're actually hitting each other. They're actually
they're actually hitting each other.
They are doing minor things to make sure the person you're wrestling with doesn't get injured, and to help kind of alleviate some of the weight of an impact. But like when a dude flies off the top rope and his leg lands across your chest, his leg is landing across your chest.
Oh, for sure.
Your butt's
people get
hitting
broken,
that ground. Like,
whatever, and
so
people have
it's
died.
It's very athletic and very physical. But yes, there are degrees of scriptedness to it. And it's sometimes that scriptedness is happening at that moment in the ring. They're talking to each other. All right, I'm gonna do a clothesline, and they'll do the back and forth on the ropes, and the guy will close. Right. So sometimes it's pre-scripted. Sometimes it's scripted right there in the ring. But yeah, it's not quote unquote real fighting.
No, but what I mean is like when Buddy and his other buddy go into the ring together, the two fighters know who's winning this fight because there's a story and contracts.
Yeah, 90% of the time.
90% of the time, it's like you're going to lose this fight, and it's actually going to be your last fight because we're done with you, and whatever it is.
Yeah, the other 10% is they're just kind of winging it, or something happens in the ring and they have to make an on-the-fly adjustment.
So the razor blade trick is when one wrestler has a razor blade kind of tucked into his like arm sweatband, and he gets the other guy in a headlock, and he pulls the razor blade out and kind of discreetly cuts a line along the other wrestler's hairline. Like
usually they do it to themselves.
Or do it to themselves, or whatever.
They'll get hit in the head with a chair or something, and they look like they're crawling around on the ground in the corner, and they're actually just giving themselves a little nick. Yeah.
And like to the bone kind of nick, and because the skin's so deep or skin's so thin, and then it's your head, so there's you just bleed like a pig, right? Like a tiny nick, they just bleed like a pig. Okay, so. My question is, at what point, because now it's understood and it's accepted, and it's like everybody, you're an idiot if you don't realize that it's performance and that it's mostly scripted and that it's cheesy and tacky, but that's what so many people find wonderful about it. And that it's more about the characters and the persona and the performance and whatever else. But I seem to remember as a kid in the 90s that the culture and the understanding around wrestling was different. Was there a point in time where the wrestling, the WWE or whatever it is, were a little less transparent about that? Was there a time where there were sort of two camps of like, oh, wrestling's fake, and then the other ones were like, no, and truly still believed that these were genuine, like that this was more of like an MMA thing?
I would say, so I don't really watch wrestling anymore.
Sure. No, but I'm talking about like the 90s.
Finish telling my like wrestling knowledge, my history with wrestling. Like, so yeah, I watched it as a kid. In high school, I had friends that watched more wrestling, that were more into it than I was, and I'd go over to their house every once in a while. We'd watch it, get together for a pay-per-view 2 or 3 times a year as have a pay-per-view kind of party to watch a big WrestleMania style pay-per-view. And then watched a little bit of it in college because my roommate was one of those friends that was really into it. But since college, I haven't watched hardly any, if any. But I would say, and to answer the question, I would say if that shift has happened, it's more because the industry as a whole has become more accepted as a sport / performance. And with that, some kind of more light in the locker room kind of idea of like how they do things with the internet and stuff has kind of come to light, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Because in terms of the how they present as it's as real as it was to like for in the moment during the performance. It's real. It's all real. They're acting. I mentioned kayfabe, like even when that wrestler's on the street signing autographs, if that wrestler is a heel, if they're the bad guy in the storylines right now, they might be knocked like their kayfabe is that their guy is a complete dick to anybody and everybody, and somebody comes up and asks them for an autograph. Kayfabe would dictate that guy smacks that stuff out of that kid's hand or steals it.
I just saw a thing.
Right. That's kayfabe.
Female
right?
wrestler who it was like body cam footage or something. A female wrestler had gotten pulled over by a cop in the States. And I'm sure she's like actually the sweetest, most genuine woman, whatever.
Yep,
but she was like really nasty, like borderline, like was doing everything that she could to be nasty and still in character to this cop without actually landing herself in cuffs.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if she knows that there's a potential that this is going to hit the internet, then she's going to kayfabe the hell out of it.
Yeah. Geez, that's a whole thing. Anyways. So Monday Night Raw, which I don't know. What is it? Is that like Hockey Night in Canada? Like that's a big wrestling thing is Monday Night Raw?
So yeah, that would be one of the arms of the WWE.
Okay.
So like there's Raw and there's SmackDown and then there's another one. And those are just different shows under the umbrella of WWE. So it's more like sorry, my throat's getting anyway.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, I need a drink. Yeah.
You gotta stop smoking.
It's more like the NHL or any other professional sports league where you've got like a Western division and an Eastern division or and even a Central division in some cases.
Right. Okay. Which is something I also don't really know anything about, but
yeah, kind of groups of wrestlers are on Raw and another group of wrestlers are on SmackDown. And then every once in a while, kind of the two teams collide or people kind of get traded or jump ship to the other one, or they're like competing teams almost. Like they compete amongst themselves within the two groups.
Right.
The two groups as a whole also compete against each other sometimes.
Okay. So Monday Night Raw is moving. Monday Night Raw is no longer going to be on Broadcast Network. Monday Night Raw is moving to Netflix. And they're going to be on Netflix for 10 years, starting next year, right? So there's a year out if you're currently watching Monday Night Raw, wherever you're watching Monday Night Raw, calm down. It's going to be moving January of 2025 for a 10-year deal at a price tag of $500 million per year.
This is paid to Netflix?
No, paid to
WWE.
Netflix is paying that to WWE.
Right. Okay.
This is a $5 billion deal.
Right.
That's big money. That's big money. Now, you may be asking, well, so what? Who cares? Why do I care? And maybe you don't, because maybe you're not into wrestling. And I don't care from a content consumption standpoint, because I myself am not into wrestling. So it doesn't affect me in that sense. But what makes this really interesting is this is the next big catapult launch, the next big assault in the streaming wars. Because up until this point, listen, there's been a couple of attempts to do some live events on different streaming services. There's been a couple of streaming services that have brought some sporting things over, and, you know, maybe, you can go watch the whatever football game it is only going to stream live on, you know, Paramount or whatever it is, right? But this is a big deal because we've talked about several times that streaming services are only making money when new people sign up, right? The reason why Netflix would produce a movie or produce a TV show is not to keep their current subscribers happy. It's to bring in new subscribers. That's where the money comes from. And that's why shows that are doing very well, that everybody likes, get canceled after the second season on Netflix because, well, they're just not bringing in anyone new. Anyone this show is going to bring in, it already has. So we're going to scrap this and we're going to start something different. And we've talked about how likely that seems at times, right? Like, it's how likely is it that something that Netflix creates is going to be enough for you to want to sign up for Netflix? And, you know, and if you do sign up for it, you're like, I got to see this movie. Okay, so you're going to pay your $15 in February to see this new movie, but you're not going to turn on the reoccurring billing because you do, you know, you just want to watch that movie. And then you go back to not being interested in Netflix. Now, Disney has had a little bit more luck with this, simply because Disney's been able to say, look, we got Marvel and we got Star Wars. And we're going to be dropping Marvel and Star Wars shows. And if you want to see them, you got to sign up for Disney Plus. So that's been something that's worked out relatively well for them. But with everyone else, it's like, you know, I know people, even something big like Game of Thrones. People signed up for HBO, binged Game of Thrones, and then canceled their membership. Signed up for Amazon to watch Rings of Power. Watched Rings of Power, canceled their membership. Now, what happens when Netflix becomes the only place that you can watch Monday Night Raw for 10 years? Because I'm telling you right now, there are a lot of people who care about Monday Night Raw that are not currently signed up for Netflix. This is a major thing, because it's not just a bunch of people who are going to sign up for Netflix. It is a bunch of people who are going to sign up for Netflix and stick around for 10 years.
It's bigger than that. This is, so sports and streaming have never really connected yet. You can get subscriptions to the NHL, so you can watch all the NHL games on your computer, and you can, if you got it set up so you can watch TV, computer stuff on your TV, you can watch any NHL game on your TV if you're subscribed to that. But it's not really a streaming service. It's a subscription-based model, closer to what you get with cable, I would say. So this is huge, because now you've got a sports franchise. WWE has one of their products on a streaming service, which will have weekly content. Every week you're going to get a new episode of Raw.
for the next 10 years.
For next 10 years. In this article, it says that NBC got just recently renewed or made a deal with WWE for SmackDown for only 5 years.
Yeah.
At half the price.
Yeah. And where do you,
and then I'm just kind of browsing
once that deal ends? Once that deal ends, who do you think's going to put in a bid for SmackDown?
Yeah, exactly. Especially if it does well. Because this can do, like, SmackDown does pay-per-views. How do you do pay-per-view on a streaming service? My guess is that Netflix is going to add a
WWE tier.
No, like a one-time, hey, you want to watch this one? It's this one episode, you got to pay a little bit extra. Right? Add a I just said the word.
Pay-per-view.
A pay-per-view, add pay-per-view events to their streaming service.
Yeah.
Pay per viewing, right? Pay for each viewing you want.
Yeah.
And on top of that, okay, do you know who owns the WWE now?
It's not me.
UFC just recently bought WWE.
Right. Didn't I hear a thing? Isn't Dwayne Johnson now on like the board or something? Like,
I don't know. But Dana White's the president of UFC, right, which now owns WWE. So not only that, now you have the potential for UFC to have streaming somewhere. If this works, if this relationship works well, you could get UFC in there. And in terms of like business, Netflix has paid a pretty penny for getting this on their streaming service.
Sure. It's going to pay off.
But WWE, and I just Googled these numbers, has a net worth, just WWE. So this is SmackDown 2. So we've only got half of the product here. Actually, I think it's a third of the product because I'm pretty sure there's a third camp. Anyway, as a net worth of WWE, everything is $8.3 billion industry.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a lot of people watch wrestling, right? It's not small, right? And it's now owned by UFC. UFC and WWE have a combined net worth of $21.4 billion.
That's a big business.
Right? So Netflix isn't messing around. They've seen an opportunity and they are striking before the iron's hot here, I think.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah. This is Netflix doing what Netflix has always done well. And it's seeing the potential of what they have and jumping on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, I'm not excited. Right? Like I don't care.
Yeah.
But I recognize a monstrous move when I see one. And this is a monstrous move.
Yeah.
This is Netflix so looking at every other streaming service out there and saying, what?
Yeah. And it has it's got the being under the UFC banner and there are other branches of WWE in itself too. There's lots of potential if this goes well for that relationship to just explode in the next 5 to 8 years.
Yeah. And I think it will.
And you know what? If it does well, you know what Netflix is going to be doing next? Hello, NHL. How you doing? You want a partner? Hi. MLB. How you doing?
Well, I don't think they'll get a chance because I think now, like everyone else is going to go, okay, shit. What do we get? What do we?
Think somebody else will
do?
Jump on it first.
Oh, I think they have to. I think I think at this point you'd be stupid not to try to also cement yourself in that, because everyone else is going to look at this. Everyone else is doing the same math that you and I are doing right now.
Except they're probably actually crunching the actual numbers.
Yes.
If you're sitting at Paramount Plus and you're going, oh crap, these numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, oh shit. shit, why didn't we think of that? So no, this is a major deal. Yeah, it's
huge.
It's huge. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And
I haven't watched wrestling in years, and I'm not super excited about wrestling being on Netflix, but you know what? I might actually watch a wrestling thing. If I'm like surfing through Netflix, I'm like, I don't know what to watch. WWE, whatever.
WWE, yeah. I'll catch Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's massive. All right. Yeah. Moving on. Fantastic Four. Now, this is something that we've talked about a lot. And I don't really know why. Like, the Fantastic Four, yeah, it's Marvel's first family, right? You can go back to the comics. Fantastic Four has been around for a coon's age. But if you look at Fantastic Four comic sales throughout history, and you look at the number of times Fantastic Four has been canceled, and
it's never the top selling comic.
The fan community doesn't really care about Fantastic Four. And so it's odd to me that you couple that with the fact that we've had 3 bad Fantastic Four movies, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that the fan community now is just chomping at the bit to find out who's cast as Fantastic Four. What are the plot details? When is this thing coming? Come on, Fantastic Four. And it's like, you know what in the hell is going on?
I think I could elaborate on that, because I'm feeling that. Like, I'm chomping at the bit, and I think I know, like, Fantastic Four is not my comic of choice, right? I do love the characters, and I do think that they are awesome and have interesting stories to be told. But I think it is the fact that we've had 3 bad movies, completely mishandled. The franchise, well, I mean, technically 4 bad mishandled movies. 1 never even saw the light of day, but was completely finished filming. Did you know that?
I did know that, yep.
Yeah. Just to keep the license, they filmed an entire film, did everything but the editing stage of the film, and then wrote it off as not
got a tax write-off, and then kept
just so
the
they
license.
They could keep the license. Oh, fucks, you are dicks. But yeah, I think it's that kind of desire to see, even though it's not the favorite, they are still a beloved superhero team actually done right. There's kind of a hope that it's going to done right, even though Marvel's not done a lot right recently. You know what I mean?
It seems like a fool's hope, but
I would say there's a bit of a fool's hope in there, but there's still like that hope and desire to see Fantastic Four done right. Because if it's done right, it could be a lot of fun. It could be a great film. And it's like, there's some fun differences from the Fantastic Four from like what we've seen already.
Have you seen the newest Deadpool set photos?
I mean, I've seen a lot. I don't know how much is real anymore. What are you referring to?
The set photos of Michael Chiklis, who played Ben Grimm in the 2000s.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, he's like half in a rubber suit, half in green,
like mocap type stuff.
Mocap suit. Yeah.
Jeez. I don't know if it's real, but if it is real, it's just like another like, what is this movie? It's just nuts. Apparently, we're getting a casting announcement any day now. Now, the article that I sent you is a little bit stupid because it says, Fantastic Four cast rumored to be locked in. Well, we've talked about these characters have been cast months ago. Months ago. Maybe not all contracts are signed. Maybe not everything's totally figure it out entirely, but these roles have been cast, right? Like, if you think that the reason why we haven't gotten a casting announcement yet is because Marvel's trying to figure out who's going to play who, you're crazy, right? These are decisions that have been made forever ago. But apparently, as rumor has it, we're going to be getting that announcement any day now. Now, the one casting that we do know seemingly for sure is who's playing Mr. Fantastic, right? Like,
Who was
there's
that
been
again?
lots of rumors. There's been lots of rumors. For the longest time, everyone was like, John Krasinski. And then Kevin Feige was like, okay, I'll give you John Krasinski in Multiverse of Madness because this is a one-off and it doesn't really mean anything and you're all asking for it and I'm a nice guy. And so we got John Krasinski in that. Then we heard Adam Driver, which seemed like a very interesting choice. Not the type of choice that I would have immediately thought of for Mr. Fantastic, but
It felt out of left field, but felt okay. Yeah, that might work.
Felt okay because it was, Then Pedro Pascal came up as a name.
Yeah.
And we were like, ooh, that's weird. Like,
That one
I
felt
wasn't
less fitty to me, but yeah.
Yeah, it seemed kind of like I don't know. I mean, incredible actor.
Yeah.
Incredible actor. And so there's that, but it's weird. It's just not what I picture, but maybe that's what we need. Maybe that, here is where things get real interesting. Right? Because that's been the most recent rumor. That's been the thing saying it's leaked, it's official, it's happening, it's Pedro Pascal. Well, recently, because of actor strikes and delays in Hollywood and all of this stuff, the production date for Fantastic Four moved. Right? It got bumped.
Yep.
And it got bumped to a date that would rule out Pedro Pascal as being Mr. Fantastic because Pedro Pascal was attached to a film called Weapons, right? This movie called Weapons is going to come out. That's the film Pedro Pascal is going to do. And so clearly he's not, like he can't, he just can't be. He can't be Mr. Fantastic because scheduling issues. And then like the next day, due to quote unquote scheduling issues, Pedro Pascal drops out of the movie Weapons. He's no longer going to be in that movie. So, I mean, you don't have to say, okay, that's official, that's Pedro Pascal's, but it seems pretty official.
Yeah.
Could
be.
What do you mean could be? Why else would he drop out?
I don't know. Maybe he's got something else going on.
It seems official. Anyways, it sounds like the Fantastic Four casting is coming any day now. If it's not Nicolas Cage as Johnny Storm, I will be very disappointed. I think that's that's a golden casting to me.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but we'll see. I'm not writing him off, but just doesn't fit as well as others could in my mind.
You're not going to comment on the Nicolas Cage thing?
Nicolas Cage being
Johnny Storm?
Johnny Storm? I completely skipped. I missed you saying that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You said that?
Yeah, I did. That was a horrible idea.
That'd be great. No, it'd be bad. It'd be bad.
Nicolas Cage as Sue Storm? Yeah. There you go. All right, moving on to our final topic. Now, we have gone into, maybe you and I never have. I know that I've explained it all to Pete on the podcast before. The deal, the inner workings of the deal between Sony and Marvel when it comes to Spider-Man. Have we covered that on this show?
I think we have. If we haven't, I'm familiar-ish.
Yeah, basically Marvel and Sony, two different companies. Sony owns Spider-Man, right? The film rights to Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, film rights. Yeah.
And the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery.
Which is substantial.
There's a deal in place where Sony, although they still own Spider-Man, the character is on loan, so to speak, to the MCU. The MCU is allowed to use Spider-Man in films. So basically, these Spider-Man movies come out, Marvel produces them, Sony distributes them, everyone gets a little richer, everyone's a little happier, right? And it's just kind of is what it is. And for the most part, that relationship has worked out pretty well. Now, there was a little bit of a couple years ago when that deal ended, and there was outcry in the streets. Like, fans were upset. Ended after Spider-Man 2, like before Spider-Man No Way Home was a thing. And there was upset. There was outcry. There was, Tom Holland got on the phone with Bob Iger and said, hey, please don't let this fall apart. Please don't send me home. I want to stay in the MCU, please. And they were able to work out a deal. And obviously, as a result of that, we got Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, Spider-Man No Way Home, as we've said several times, seemingly sets up pretty nicely a Spider-Man 4, an all-new Spider-Man, a Spider-Man who's no longer Iron Man Jr., a Spider-Man who is building his own suit and relying on himself, and nobody knows who he is, and it feels like Spider-Man, right? And which led a lot of people to go, oh, the Homecoming trilogy was actually a 3-movie origin story for Spider-Man, and in a lot of ways that's true. And we've heard whisperings, we've heard talking about the plans to do a Spider-Man 4 in the MCU. Sure, why not? Why wouldn't you? Spider-Man No Way Home came very close to making $2 billion.
Yeah.
So you make
this is
another
a partnership that's making money.
It's a partnership that's making money, so you keep going. Now, there seems to be a little bit of a debacle between Marvel and Sony right now. It's been reported that Kevin Feige and Tom Holland would like to do a much more grounded Spider-Man 4. Kind of really just diving into what was set up at the end of No Way Home, right? That you have this broke-ass working at the Bugle, although in this universe, the Bugle is like an online podcast media, so I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, but more of a street-level Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. The Spider-Man that he would traditionally start out as.
Yeah. And that's what they kind of want to do. Whereas Sony wants to bring back Maguire and Garfield for another crossover film. And I see merit to both. I know which one I'd prefer, but I see merit to both. I understand why someone would want both of those things. Personally, I'm siding with Kevin Feige and Tom Holland. I want a grounded Spider-Man, right? I want to see where this goes, right? I want to see, and I was listening to someone talking it online and they hit the nail on the head. I want to see a Spider-Man. I want to see a Peter Parker who is able to, maybe now he's off in college and he's working alongside the likes of a Dr. Connors. And he's now equipped with the knowledge that, hey, one of the Spider-Men from another universe also worked with a Dr. Connors, and I know how that turned out, so I need to be extra careful. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got this sort of like... He's got this advanced knowledge.
Met some of his rogues gallery without ever having to actually fight and defeat them individually. Yeah.
And so there's an interesting dynamic there. But I can also see the other side of this, right? I can see the other side of this where Sony's not crazy, right? Sony goes, okay, you make a Spider-Man 4 and it's a grounded Tom Holland's, whatever amazing film, and you make hundreds of millions of dollars. You're going to make us hundreds of millions of dollars with that movie, $800 million. Well, we put Maguire and Garfield in the trailer. We got a $1.5 billion movie overnight.
Yeah.
right? And so I get it. I get both sides of it. I do. I love, like I've said many times, Andrew Garfield is even though those movies aren't the best, I like his performance the best. And I want to see more of him now, right? I want to see the Spider-Man that stopped pulling his punches. I want to see the Spider-Man that's grieving the loss of the love of his life. I want to see, because there's so much there. There's so much that you could do. And so that would be really interesting to me. But I don't know. I don't know which way they'll go. I hope that one side just concedes and that this doesn't explode and turn into a, that's it, we're calling the deal off again type of thing. I don't even know the legalities around that. I don't know if they can. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I do want more Andrew Garfield. In a perfect world, I would get an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie. But that will never, ever happen. That will never happen. And everyone's going, well, no, you could, why not let Marvel do Tom Holland Spider-Man the way that they want to do it? And then you bring in Sony separately does Andrew Garfield, and they connect it to the Venom first, and they do whatever. And you know why that's not going to happen? Because Marvel would never allow that. Marvel is not going to put in the time, energy, effort. Because here's the thing. Sony needs Marvel. Sony needs the MCU.
Yeah. Well, Sony would have lost their. They probably would have kept making.
They would have kept it. They could have kept. Yeah. But like, make no mistake, the MCU does not need Spider-Man. Kevin Feige's not worried about losing Spider-Man.
Not when Spider-Man is the only thing he doesn't have.
Yeah, he doesn't need that.
He's got everything else in Marvel to write Marvel storylines. And even though Spider-Man's a big player in Marvel comics, yeah, you could do everything without Spider-Man.
Kevin Feige is not going to put the time, energy, and money into creating Spider-Man movies if there's another live-action Spider-Man franchise going and competing with it. Yeah. He's not going. Marvel would never allow that, ever.
Yeah.
I don't know, Carl. What are your thoughts? If we get a Spider-Man 4, what do you want it to look like? Whose side are you on?
Like, if Marvel's making it and we're using Tom Holland Spider-Man, I'm for street level. Right? We've like from day one, he's been jet setting and galaxy trotting,
which has been fun.
Even in his own films, right? Like, even his own films, he's been. I mean, I guess no. Even in the first one, he went to Washington.
Yeah,
he's been all over. Mm-hmm. I would love to see him deal with not necessarily a smaller threat, which doesn't mean it's less dangerous or less of a deal that needs to be done.
Have him bump into Kingpin.
Yeah, Kingpin.
Right. Bring Matt Murdock back in, because Matt Murdock made an appearance in No Way Home. Right? Yeah, I mean, they're both street level.
Got an upcoming story.
Yeah, they're both street level guys bumming around Queens, bumming around Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, but whatever it is, like, yeah, seeing him actually kind of in a position where he needs to protect and save just a portion of New York.
Yeah.
Not even the whole city, right? I think that'd be cool. And you're right. I think, like, as much as like Sony's really diving into this Spider-Verse stuff with their Madam Web and the animated Spider-Man, and let that, like, if they get their way, they obviously want Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back, and they totally just kind of slam all those projects together to create some Spider-Verse film. And as cool as that would be, I mean, we've already got a whole bunch of that. Well, give me something a little fresher, right?
Yeah. I think we're all multiversed out.
Yeah,
at this point.
You keep going back to the same watering hole. I want something new. I've had enough Mexican. I want some Italian.
Right? Why you got to bring ethnicity into this, man?
It's not about ethnicity. It's about
cancel culture. This is the world we're living in.
It's not about that comment's not a. Shut up! I don't have to explain myself to you. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
But yeah, no. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like I said, as much as I'm always down to see more Andrew Garfield and more Tobey Maguire, I'm also okay with just having a grounded story for once. Just a kid Spider-Man that has to fight a guy that's bigger than he is and has to use his powers and his skill level versus
get creative
Stark Tech in order to do it. Yeah. All right, well, that's the news.
That's it. That's all.
That's all we got. That's all I got for you. Is that not enough? Are you not entertained?
A little bit.
Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all listed below. We have a Patreon page where you too can help us buy a submersible yacht. And
yes, the yacht. That's the dream.
Seas. That's what we're working towards.
That's our big, hairy, audacious dream.
Harry? Why is it Harry? Why did you have to bring Harry into this?
It's a saying that some corporate
I don't think it is.
It is.
Don't
big hairy.
It,
Google it.
No,
Google big, hairy, audacious dream.
Harry. I'm not Googling big, hairy anything. I'm not.
It's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. Trust me. It's a thing.
No. And we have merch.
Yeah. If you have an idea for merch, send us a message and maybe we'll do it. Maybe we won't. If you're a Patreon person, we'll listen to you more.
Should make a help the movie men buy a yacht shirt or something.
Yes.
This shirt gets the movie men one step closer to their yacht.
I have a picture of that supervillain yacht.